Is there a way to bend it the other way?
What do you mean?
Like the opposite way from how it was currently bent.
Like so?
Yeah, like keep going, like, or does it not bend?
I don't think it goes that way, but we could put it on the other side of the table.
The reason is because if you see how it is now,
it won't be. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But if it was the opposite way, it would be able to sit right between us, and we wouldn't even have to.
Let's put it on the other side then. Let's flip it around.
But then it only pick up the front side.
Yes.
Okay.
But that's fine. So
but if it's pointed right at us, theoretically.
Is that better? Is this what you were thinking?
Yes. Because then that's like right in the middle of where we're at.
We could just have a mic, right?
You could hold it, yeah, but you'd have to every time you like. It could sound shitty if you like hit up against this or anything like that.
I mean, I think that's fine.
That'll probably work.
This is better.
Jesus. Well, Aaron wants his own.
Yeah,
mic,
that looks
so.
good. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, cool. Aaron's gonna like move the mic over.
Hey, old Photoshop boy.
There, now, bot.
This is the first time I've ever worn my team shirt on pod.
Guys, we have to talk about how bad the Browns are.
Yep. We can do that.
I honestly think that should start this show. Alright, guys, we just have to get this out of the way. What the fuck did the Browns do?
They're pretty bad.
Dude, but not only that, and I'll say this on the podcast, but like there's so much dysfunction between the coaching staff and the front office. It's so fucked. We gotta talk about the shitty Browns.
Oh my god. My segment has plenty of room to talk about the Browns. And we'll lead off with my segment.
Oh yeah, you think you're that important?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
This is also my house. I literally own this house.
If you don't like it, you can get out.
Oh, excuse me, man.
You can just get out.
You can but get out.
I'll let the neighbors see what's about to happen in here.
Yeah, there's gonna be so many drugs being consumed.
Yeah.
If I were to send you two pictures rather than a PowerPoint, could you flip between them?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure I can.
I definitely can.
100%.
I know I can. Be what I want to be.
Be what I wanna be.
If I work hard at it.
That New York Jets cheerleader would have looked much better with fake boobs.
Yeah, I dare you to say that on YouTube. I'll play that for every employer.
Well, we are streaming, so you did say it on YouTube.
Oh, good job. You're
Oh man. Oh man. That's really setting me back. No, I'm never gonna find one.
I will say, if you go on YouTube though and you type in Aaron Carnevale, these podcasts are one of the first things that come up.
I know. That's fine. Hey, future employer. Uh-oh.
I can't see anything because Tony's in the way.
Tony. Is what number is Tyrod Taylor? Is that?
No.
That's not him, is it?
That's Jordan Matthews.
Oh, no. Oh, that's Zay Jones is what it is. Hyperextended knee.
Don't want to see that.
Oh! Oh! Ouch. Oh, man. Oh, man. That must hurt.
Hey,
Oh.
brother.
Yikes. You want me to explain
Looks like you got your knee really fucked up.
Yoy. You like Zay Jones?
What happened?
His knee just got gumbied. Jesus.
He got gumby.
Holy shit.
Are you getting a burr?
No. You need one though?
Yes.
One of these where he was running, he planted and it went that way.
This Tecate is really good, actually. I fuck with it.
Alright, Tony, I sent you a couple emails.
Thanks.
Ignore.
Man.
They go to my spam. I got you filtered as
Wait, we're live right now?
Yeah. I said we were streaming, dude.
You are looking live!
At an empty table.
Brent Musburger's old ass. Guarantee you Brent Musburger raped somebody.
At least I put the flag up. Yeah, Brent Musburger.
He definitely raped somebody.
What about that guy, what about Marv Albert? He like bit that lady that one time, remember?
I do not remember
You
that.
should look that up, dude. It's crazy.
He bit.
Really big.
How can this only have a 2.79? One of my friends gave it a 5. Oh my god, Chelsea.
What is the order of these photos, by the way?
What? Who's that QB91 goes first? Well, no, I'm sorry. The meme goes first.
Okay.
Guys,
Then-
can you start using Untapped again?
I drank too many beers to.
That's why I want you to be on Untapped.
I don't know, maybe.
It's too much effort. I literally consume beers at such a fast rate I can't even keep up.
Sounds like a Trump impression.
It's fucking huge.
Oh my god, I would love if Trump just dropped a fucking rating.
Dude, honestly, I would respect him if he did that. Like just for 1 second, but like I would respect him for 1 second.
If Trump was on Untapped, he'd just like, I love Bud Light bringing jobs to America. It's gonna be huge.
Jesus Christ. That guy.
I'm brewing tomorrow. No, Saturday.
Are you gonna brew me some shit?
A Christmas ale. It'll be ready by Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow, it's gonna take you that long to brew it, pussy?
Yeah.
It's gonna be here right in time. I promise all of my supporters are gonna like this Christmas ale. It's actually the best Christmas ale I've ever had. Let's just be honest, okay?
I've got ales. I've got the best ales.
I love beer. I do not like that wicked witch, Hillary Clinton.
You're almost exploding all over me, and I drank all of
I
it.
saw you slurping it down like a slurp McGurp.
Like a Slurpee McGurpee.
So Tony and I talked about this podcast since we've skipped
He
one.
let us know.
Okay, cool. Yep.
Yeah, you're not on this one, though.
Mhm.
That's what he let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually
Yeah, so I don't really even get what he said. I just heard that I'm just gonna talk. We're just gonna talk.
We're just talking. We're just shooting the shit.
Well, we are streaming right now, so Austin, get in the fucking frame, dude.
Would you stop telling me how to live my fucking life?
Tony, you're in on this, right?
Huh?
You're in the podcast, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna run the 2s and
I'm
1s.
in.
You're not
Well,
gonna-
Twos and ones.
Definitely not the 2s and
You're not
1s.
gonna run the 4s and 3s.
I might run the 6s and 7s.
No, don't do that.
How
Just
about
like
the-
Queens of the
how
Stone
about
Age.
the
That's a
six-
good,
how
that's a
about
good joke right
How
there.
about the 6s and 9s?
Nah, yeah, man.
Get it? Cause like 69.
Oh, I do get it.
Did you like that
Do you
meme,
get it
Tony?
now?
Was it?
I like it a lot.
Okay, good.
I like it a lot.
I don't
will
even need
say-
this.
I will say, if you're on the meme economy subreddit,
It's
that-
on. Yeah,
that
it's
meme
on.
has been on sale for
Sure.
quite a while.
That's fine.
But
That's fine.
I still think it's a strong meme.
It's appropriate.
I think it's a strong meme.
It was either that or the Drake doing the.
That's also good. That's also a strong meme.
It's the same concept.
It really is. A lot of memes are just the same thing in a different format, but the same format.
Right.
Who the fuck is this?
Meet the new format, same as the old format.
Dude, I could have helped you with that.
I don't need no help, dude.
Hey, brother.
The only words I know from that song are "Hey brother."
Yeah,
I've never heard it.
it's
I
because-
just,
it's because-
Austin just says it all
It's
the time.
because that's all Aaron and I know.
That's all you need
Let-
to know.
Let's harmonize in this.
No. Let's not do that. I'm gonna veto.
You need to be up here.
And I'm
Tony.
down here.
All right, it's a good show.
And I'm up here.
We hello.
Oh man, kick it
Hello.
Gator usually does this part.
Do it, Tony. Bring it.
Tony, and you and I are not very focused again.
Sorry. I'm telling.
Kick it off. Kick it off.
Hello, everyone. and welcome to the 3-Set Flop. My name is Tony Hotel, and with me today, my co-host
Gator Shran.
and a couple of guests.
Hey, I'm Aaron Carnevale. Good to be back.
Arab getting money. Rabah.
Love it.
That's who he is.
We are ready to get going after a missed week, an
A
unfortunate
hiatus.
missed week. We almost missed this week too,
Oh, we about did.
because I did not know that Gator was going to Columbus this weekend.
Yeah.
And I suppose we could have done it without you, but
No.
it wouldn't be the same.
Thank you, Tony. That feels
Yeah, it
good.
would have been better, and we just couldn't really have afforded that for the other ones because then it just would have been all downhill. So.
Right. We strive for quality and consistency,
Yeah.
but mostly consistency.
What are you doing this weekend in Columbus?
We're watching the game, and I'm gonna brew a beer on Saturday. It's gonna be a
Michigan game?
nope, not the Michigan game, the Ohio State Iowa game. And we're gonna brew a holiday ale.
Oh, how does the Ohio State theme song go?
No.
Ohio State. There it is. Yeah.
Short and
You
sweet.
don't even know the fight
That's it.
song to your own school.
Austin, we don't want to get into this.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's it.
That's literally.
Dun, 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 dun,
I literally
dun.
know more
Dun,
about your
dun,
friends
dun,
than
dun, This is an NFL podcast.
Ohio.
We digress. So that's cool. So a Christmas ale, holiday ale, right?
We're doing a Great Lakes clone.
Of the Christmas ale.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don't let them find out about that.
Yeah, they'll sue us.
Spices, baby, spices.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're doing so. Talk a little bit about the format this week, right? So it's gonna be a little bit more open.
Yeah, since we
discussion type thing?
since we missed a week last week, we don't want to run through 2 weeks of everyone's scores and stuff. We're just gonna do kind of a mid-season recap. It's gonna be much more free form, ABC Family free form, loose.
Little TGI Fridays style.
Yeah. Just whatever. We're going to do a mid-season recap here. We're going to talk about whatever we feel like is in the news of football, and we're just going to shoot the shit for a little while.
Love it.
Sounds great.
Well, I do, just to get us started off, I do have a bit of a segment to sort of get the
Yeah.
conversation going.
Hit it.
This is probably not going to be a recurring segment, but this is just kind of, just since we missed a week, this will just get everybody back in their bearings.
Yeah, bring it.
All
Ooh,
right.
click to add title. Good segment. I like
thanks. Thank you.
It's very creative.
it. Uh-huh.
You got to start your slideshow with a blank slide. Okay, that's what they teach you.
I really don't
That's
think.
what they teach you in ECA.
Okay.
So we're gonna talk about the hot stove that was this past weekend,
Oh
or this
my
past
God.
week with all the trades going on.
Jesus.
Um,
What is that?
It's a hot stove, Gator.
Wow.
It's actually very hot.
What are they dumping in there?
I believe it's like they're trying to induce a grease fire. So like he's pouring a cup of water onto a grease fire to show you what happens when you do that.
Do you know what you're supposed to do if there's a grease fire on your
Not that.
Flour?
Oh,
I don't
should
know.
probably-
Salt?
stove?
Salt.
Salt is how you deal with
Some
it.
sort of white powder.
Yeah, salt.
Cocaine?
Expensive.
That would be an inefficient way to do it.
Yeah, the Miami Dolphins aren't in town, so.
Miami Dolphins very good at putting.
Yeah,
out
what
fires.
what happened in the group meet today?
What?
There was a lot of conversation that I totally missed. A lot about like Texas quarterbacks and
I guess we'll catch you up.
Going with your hot
Let's-
stove.
Let's
Hot-
talk about that after this because
Can't get us derailed quite
I thought
yet.
this was the hot stove. I don't know.
This
Go
is
on.
a hot stove.
Hot fire.
Where's my mouse? There we are. Okay. Enough of that. All right. So our first piece of news, Jimmy Garoppolo going to the San Francisco 49ers. What are our thoughts about this? How is he going to fit
Coming
into
from where'd he
bad-
come from?
from the Patriots as their backup? How does he fit into the bad quarterback paradigm?
Is Hoyer gone?
Hoyer is gone. Hoyer was signed by the Patriots on a 3-year deal, which we'll get to later.
Oh.
Yeah, which is interesting. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is. I think going to San Francisco, that's a bad team, bad situation. Man, I don't think. I mean, he hasn't proved himself, right? I mean, he hasn't even played much football, so he's gonna have some growing pains. I think next year. I don't know much about the Niners specifically, but I bet you they're gonna be pretty bad. So keep him on the list of guys to keep your eye on. I say.
You know, it's interesting. I read something that was talking about how Garoppolo was basically lined up for a pretty nice contract by being a backup. Like some team would, his contract was up at the end of the year, so somebody would have signed him for him to become their starter. And now he has to kind of like prove that he deserves the money. Because I think if he would have just stayed the backup the rest of the season,
So
he wouldn't have had to really prove anything, and he still would have gotten a huge contract. But if he comes out and shits the bed for 8 straight games, maybe he won't. Like maybe he'll lose some money there.
Yeah, maybe. From the way that I understood it, I believe this was the 3rd year of a 4-year deal.
Oh really?
So I believe it's his 3rd year in the league.
Maybe I was looking at some fake news.
I'm pretty sure it was his 3rd year in the league. It is his 3rd year in the league, and the rookie deals are all 4, sometimes 5 years.
Well, I'll fact check that. While you're talking.
Yeah. We can clear that up. Here's the thing about Garoppolo. Like Aaron said, he's totally unproven. He only played in 6 quarters of football last year before he got hurt.
And he looked pretty good.
I mean, he did, but it was 6 quarters
you're right,
of football.
You're right.
And then
surrounded by a team that was
surrounded by the
pretty
New
solid.
England Patriots, who won the Super Bowl casually. So and then Jacoby Brissett came in for him because he was their 3rd string,
Right.
the Patriots' 3rd
I like
string.
how that's just his name now.
Oh no, his name is literally
It's
Jacoby
Brissett.
Brissett. So sorry, I think it's a better name, so I think it's an upgrade. But I guess who am I to judge?
So if I'm in the bad QB league, which I am, I would definitely pick up Garoppolo in his first week, 2,
Here's
one,
so
2,
here's
3.
the caveat. Here's the caveat. As a quarterback, you're not just going to go from one team to another and then just start because you don't know any of the plays.
Right.
So there's a report that came out today that said Kyle Shanahan, who's the head coach of the Niners, said he might not play all year.
Okay.
And they might just roll with CJ beat his meat hard for literally the rest of the year.
There's a nickname for you next week, I
Which-
guess.
Dude.
Excuse me, did you see my nickname last week? Thanks for the 38 points. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I was
First
gonna
place.
say, he
Shout out
fucking-
to myself. Drink a beer.
Drink a beer. Shout out.
He got you a lot of points
Yeah,
last
it
week.
was like
man.
37
Good
point
for you.
something.
I'm proud of you. That's
Yeah, CJ likes to beat his
fantastic.
meat hard.
He beats
That
it
was
hard,
literally my
and he
nickname.
did it for you well.
Yeah, he sure did. He never mind. I'm not going to make that joke.
Well, if Beat Hard stays in the league the rest of the season, he is going to be top
he's number
3
one
draft pick.
No. He's number.
He's number
if you do not pick CJ Beathard number 1, which is actually how you pronounce his name, if you do not pick CJ Beathard number 1 every single week, you fucked up.
You've made a mistake.
Like,
Is
I
that
don't-
over insert Browns QB here.
Yes,
Browns QB should be number 2.
Browns QBs have a decent running back situation, and
But Kaiser has been a
here's the deal: they go
workhorse.
3 and out. They go 3 and out so often.
I get it, but Kaiser still finds a way to score you points.
Not as much as CJ likes to beat his meat hard.
All right. So real quick, back to the guy. He's going to be relevant, right? Whenever he decides to start, like, probably going to be next year or towards the end of this year. I think that, like Austin said, I don't think he's going to get much action this year. They're probably just going to get him going at some point later this year and look towards next. But it's a name to remember, that's for sure.
Yep.
His contract is expiring at the end of this season, by the way.
Nice. Is this his 4th year in the league already?
Yep. Okay, moving on from Garoppolo. Kelvin Benjamin. The reason why I know he's not a quarterback, but I put this in the slide because Tyrod Taylor is a guy who's been drafted before in our league, and
So
he's
is
now
Cam Newton.
true. That's also true, and he's now Tyrod's gaining Kelvin Benjamin, and Cam Newton's losing him. So that could affect the values of both of those quarterbacks.
Yeah,
there.
we've seen Tyrod lose picks in our league. Tyrod has proved himself to be a pretty solid quarterback, and this is not gonna help him in our league.
No.
No.
Part of the best part about Tyrod was in this league was that he had literally nobody to throw to. And that was really the biggest redeeming quality for him. So now with Kelvin, I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take. Austin just said how quarterbacks, like, you don't trade them and then they start playing right away. The same is probably really for any player, but for receivers, they can probably get into it a little quicker than, a quarterback or a running back or something.
Yeah, I mean, the receivers, a route is a route. A slant route is a slant route. A go route is a go route. A hitch is a hitch. So in terms of learning the terminology and the play calls, yes. But I mean, for a receiver, it's a lot easier, especially if they go based on the number tree, the 1 through 9, which is very standard throughout the NFL in general. So I have no idea if he's even been in the game tonight. I haven't really been paying attention at all. And then within a couple weeks, he'll start really getting involved in the game plan. Buffalo's making a run at the playoffs, so this is a long-term move. This is not like a short-term fix. Their offense is going to struggle for a couple weeks. But towards the end of the year, they're going to get a lot better on offense. They've already got Shady McCoy. Tyrod Taylor, I think, is solid.
I mean,
I'm avoiding Tyrod Taylor. I don't know about what you guys think, but I'm completely avoiding him.
Buffalo's defense is why I picked Derek Carr last week, and he got me about 15 points. And Derek Carr on any other day is going to score negative points in our league. Buffalo's defense has looked really good, so which is why I wanted McCown tonight, but I think Drew ended up with him.
Yes,
but Buffalo's defense looks really good.
Yeah, as our league expert in defenses.
Thank you very much. Well, Buffalo's got a good defense. They're not like one of the best defenses, but if you got a quarterback matched up against them, that's a positive matchup in this league, I would say. But Buffalo, they have Charles Clay coming back from injury soon. They got McCoy.
That's a huge deal too.
Yeah, they got a decent blocking offensive line. I checked ranks today, and they were in the mid-tiered offensive linemen. And then they traded for Jordan Matthews too, who is a good player. I mean, he Philadelphia.
Beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they have him, and they have rookie Zay Jones. Zay Jones, he went down tonight.
Just obliterated
his knee got gumbied, but
Gumbeed.
they're good offense, man. So Tyrod Taylor is somebody you should stay away from, in my opinion.
I just saw Zay Jones had 4 catches for 40 yards and a tutty tonight before he blew his knee out. So
Man,
that sucks for him.
we're talking about the Bills defense, but we're watching the Jets defense shit all over the Bills right now.
Everybody turned the Jets into a meme at the start of this season. They were going to be so shitty, and now they're like still in the playoff hunt. Josh McCown's like leading this team to like
Guys,
an 8-8 season.
Can I think I said this to Aaron yesterday or a couple days ago, but let me explain something. The Jets are so shitty. They can't even figure out how to tank correctly. Like, they can't even figure out that their roster sucks so badly that they need the number 1 fucking pick. And they just keep winning. And they refuse to lose games that they should lose. And Josh McCown.
Good for them.
No, not good for them.
No, fuck the tank strategy. That's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard.
Okay, hold on. As an organization, and honest, I never condone losing on purpose, but as an organizational strategy, think about what they did this offseason. They literally released every single player that was making like over $1 million. They just fucking cut them. Even if they were good as shit, they just let them go. It's because they were dumping salary cap so they could purposely lose games. And now, and so they could get the number 1 pick in the draft, because this is a quote unquote loaded quarterback class, aka Austin's most overrated quarterback class of all time, per our podcast a couple weeks ago. But I'm just saying their whole organizational strategy was to lose as many games as possible this year, not really care what happens on the field, and try to get the highest pick so they can have their pick of the litter at quarterback.
They're pulling Cleveland Indians in the movie.
Yes,
Major League.
That is correct.
That's exactly.
The players are real pissed. They've got a cutout of the naked owner.
The naked, which I can't imagine is as attractive as the owner in Major League. Here's my question though: why the fuck did they sign Josh McCown? Why not just throw Bryce Petty in there for 16 games?
I completely agree.
Okay.
And I only think it's because they understand that the Hackenberg and Bryce Petty, who they currently also have on their roster, are literally just ass. And like and
they're like,
just
okay, we
out
can't
of respect,
be that bad.
Just out of respect for their fans, they had to put somebody who like has at least played football before.
They can't
who can.
You have to sort of pretend that you're not tanking.
Yeah, you have to like fake it.
Well, they shouldn't have chose McCown because he's a fighter.
Yeah, he's been fighting way too hard.
He's getting that 125K every game.
Problem?
McCown's been playing too well this year.
Yeah, it's been pissing me off actually.
He's kind of relevant in real fantasy football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sure is.
All right, moving on. No.
Oh no! Oh no!
Spoiler.
Oh man!
Oh, that's amazing. Brock Osweiler.
Brock Osweiler.
Right.
back to Denver,
Hell yeah, baby.
and all is right with the world because
No,
Brock
it's not.
Osweiler is back, baby.
No.
He's on the list. Meat is back on the menu, boys.
Oh,
and
I
know
love
I've-
it.
I know I've already used that.
Brock
but
a
I don't
Flock of
care.
Flame is here, baby.
Wait. So he was in Denver all year long.
No.
No,
He just got traded
he was released, right?
Browns
cut him,
released
and then
him.
at the beginning of the season.
Yes,
right?
and Denver signed him
just
like,
recently.
well, within the last few weeks.
Oh, I thought he was on their team this whole year.
Maybe he was, but
I thought
I
they
don't
traded
remember.
him and
No,
then
they
he
definitely didn't
suspended
trade for him. The Browns cut him for
we-
sure.
Can we talk about how this year
The Texans
they-
traded him to the Browns.
Correct.
Then the Browns cut him.
Correct.
And then the Broncos picked him up.
Correct. And the Browns are paying 14 out of the
Right.
16 million on his salary. Great job.
Good
By
job,
the way,
Browns.
we
Good
need
job,
to get
Browns.
into.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get
we
there.
need to
We'll get there.
into it.
We'll get there.
I'm fired up about it.
all I want to say is the number of injuries and trades this year has been the most like backup and no name quarterbacks that we've seen in the 4 years of the bad QB league. This is a prime time bad QB league, and we should be scoring 20 points average every week, and we're not.
Well, you know,
Austin is.
it's harder than it looks.
We'll get there,
Gator.
Austin.
This is a joke. The Bengals are not in the playoff picture. Don't even show that graph.
Yeah, that's optimistic. So you're right. Osweiler was cut by the Browns on September 2nd, and on the same day he signed with the Broncos. So I didn't realize that. I thought it was a more recent signing.
Yes. He's been in town the whole year, but
But he has been announced as a starter over Simeon for this coming week. So still fits
Hell
in,
yeah,
in the
baby.
slide.
Hot
And
stove.
I'm very excited because Trevor Simeon, I never thought was that good, but it seemed like a lot of people thought he was all right, and he's been so shitty. And but nothing can top the Brock.
But he hasn't been shitty enough to score in the top on 3 ranked.
Yeah.
this past Monday on Monday Night Football, Simeon looked really,
yeah, he's
really
bad.
inept.
It's bad.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, and this is partially because I made a trade for Trevor Simeon in my regular fantasy league earlier this year.
You're gonna stand for him here.
I'll stand up for Trevor Simeon, not like all the way, but like maybe I'll like kneel for him. If you will.
Okay.
Oh,
Isn't that even high? Isn't that even better than standing?
Yeah, it's better than standing.
yeah.
So here's the thing about Trevor Simeon, right? So like 80% of the game, you look at him, he's like, yeah, he's managing the game, taking the check downs, makes a couple of, mid-level throws down the field. And then all of a sudden, he rolls out to his right, looks back all the way across the field to his left, sees 3 defensive players standing around his receiver, and decides to throw him the ball.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse for a quarterback who's in his 3rd year in the league, I believe. 3rd year in the league.
I think that's right.
There's no
probably.
excuse for really anybody to do that, but for a 3rd-year quarterback, there's definitely no excuse. Or like the one where he threw it directly into Marcus Peters' fucking hands down the sideline. It was the worst throw I've ever seen. But the rest of the game, he actually played decently. Like, he didn't actually play that bad.
Well, that's
Their
the
offensive
thing.
line is so, like, nobody can, doesn't matter what quarterback the Broncos throw out, their offensive line is to the point where it's as bad as the Bengals is. Like, they're fucked. Like, whatever quarterback they throw out there doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah, I promise you. Also, I was going to come in. It's going to look the same or worse as when Simeon was in. Mark it right.
Probably
now.
worse.
And honestly, I'm under the impression that the Broncos have the hardest remaining schedule in terms of the teams they have to play left. Like by winning percentage, I don't know the exact winning percentage, but I do know it's the highest winning percentage out of the remaining schedule. They play in the AFC West, Kansas City. And like they're playing, I think they play the Packers this week or somebody that's really good. They're fucked. Like they're not making the playoffs. Like their offense is not good enough to make
Right.
the playoffs. Play Paxton Lynch.
I agree.
Why did you draft him in the first round if he's just going to sit there as your 3rd string
It's
quarterback
really
with no
bizarre.
shoulder pads on?
It's really weird.
Like it's.
If
If he's a bust, then let him prove to everybody else that he's a bust. Start over for next year. In again, in the loaded quarterback class that is this year, there are so many quarterbacks that you're telling me John Elway can't fucking find one?
They must really, really not like what they see from him in practice. Like
Yeah.
he must be just that bad because you would think that they would at least put it, like you said, throw him in there and just like, fuck it, dude. Just put him in there and see what happens. There's a lot of team, but I don't know. Maybe there's a whole element that we don't know about like coaching where it's like, well, we don't want to like ruin their confidence or whatever by just like throw them to the wolves. But like if you have a good offensive line, you should, if you're a quarterback in the NFL, you should be able to, be manageable behind a good offensive
But their
line.
offensive
Simeon
line
was
sucks.
was
Oh, their
only-
offensive line's bad.
No, their offense. That's what I was saying. Their offensive line is so bad that it doesn't matter what quarterback they throw out there. It's not going to matter because Simeon's getting sacked all the time. He can't help that.
True,
It doesn't matter if he was Mike Vick. Mike Vick would be getting sacked by this
yeah.
offensive line. Doesn't matter.
So maybe not throw him to the Wolves. Then.
What I'm saying is you might as well, because you're not like, dude. I know that the Broncos are 3-4. There is no chance in hell they're making the playoffs. Mark it down. Just like the Bengals have much as I love the Bengals, I'm wearing Bengals right now. They're not making the playoffs.
How confident are you that the Bengals won't make the playoffs?
95%.
Would you put money on it?
Yes.
Tony, you're gonna.
I certainly
you're gonna
wouldn't. So I'm not betting with you, dude.
Oh, you mean betting against the Bengals to make the playoffs? You wouldn't bet it. You're saying that you think the Bengals will make the playoffs.
I was gonna make a joke about how my joke was that no, I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. But I was trying to build it up to be like, yeah, I'll take that bet, but I would never take that bet in 1,000 years.
Okay, for sure.
So
Aaron might take that
I'll
bet.
take that bet if the line was at minus 700.
beer run. Oh shit! I have nothing prepared. Yeah, I do.
Might as well bring me one too. I'm about.
I'll take one. I got one. They're in the black bag.
I got. Yep. So, Aaron, I want you to name 5 people in this league.
What? Like humans?
Yep.
Gator, Austin, Tony, Marianne, Brian, Lauren, Taylor, Drew, John, Aaron, right? Me,
And
Tom,
yeah, I
and
think you got 'em all.
No, you're missing one.
am I missing
Yep,
one?
you are. Yep, you are. Yep, name them all.
FDQ.
Yep.
Alex
Okay.
Abdick.
Damn it. Now, Austin. Name.
Name 5 breakfast cereals.
Go.
Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Raisin Bran, Blueberry Morning, Chex,
What the
Twix.
fuck is Blueberry Morning?
Bro, what you know about Blueberry Morning,
Twix.
son? Tricks.
You said Twix.
Did I?
Dude. You said Twix.
Well, I ate a Twix before I came over here. That's probably why.
Twix and milk would still be delicious.
Tell me
it
it
would
wouldn't
be
be. It
good.
would be
It would be
amazing.
good.
It'd be amazing.
You know what I used to do?
I did name at least 5 though. There
you did.
so.
You nailed
You
it.
guys both passed the beer run. Good job.
Thanks.
You know what I used to do when I was a very young child? And I don't know why my parents didn't prevent me from doing this. But I used to put, those Ritz Bits crackers, like the little ones that have cheese in the middle. I used to put that in a bowl and put fucking milk in it and eat it.
Ew.
Yeah, right? Isn't that vile?
Like with the cheese and
Yeah,
the,
like
oh
like
my
cereal. I used to eat
God,
it like a
dude.
cereal.
You liked it like that?
Loved it. Could not get enough of it.
I don't hate you for it.
Thank you. It's
All
all
right.
dairy, right? Cheese, milk.
So
It's all the same.
heard it was fine.
I would say this. Last
to
note
get
on
off that.
on Trevor Simeon. Yeah, that's disgusting. Last note on Trevor Simeon. He's only in our top 3 undrafted once, and that was in week 3, and he was at number 3 with 28.82 points.
That's because he's always drafted, though.
No, I haven't seen him drafted a ton this league this year.
I don't know.
Probably half the time.
No, I don't think I would put money on the fact that he has been drafted less than half the weeks this
I would
season.
put money on more than half.
Wow. Do it. You won't.
I mean, that would require some research here, but
That's fine. I'll do the bet.
how much?
What do you want? How
One
confident are you,
warm
bud?
tequila shot.
My savings account.
Wow.
Warm tequila shot.
Heat it up in the
Okay.
microwave.
Funny.
No, oh come on.
Yeah, that's
Warm.
The thing about that, my savings account's 12 cents. So,
I'm not doing no warm shit, dude.
Just a tequila shot.
Okay.
Oh.
What the stakes are high.
Okay. We will look that up.
What's next on the hot stove, Tony D?
Hot stove. Jay Ajay
Oh, I got something to say about this.
being traded from the just poopy doopy Miami Dolphins drink. Poopy doopy.
Oh,
Poopy
yeah.
doopy drink.
Good one.
To the team that is now going to win the Super Bowl because all they do is make trades to make themselves better. Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah,
So,
what were they thinking? What'd they get out of that?
A 4th round pick.
That doesn't sound good enough.
If you want to
People were
talk,
pissed.
if you want to talk about franchises that are in shambles and maybe franchises that don't initially hit you when you're like, because clearly the Cleveland Browns are the biggest albatross
Obviously.
ever created in professional sports.
spell albatross because I can't.
BROWNS.
Albatross has now been entered into
Right?
the
It's
drinking
now in
game.
the drinking game. Albatross is now in the drinking game.
Drink.
So
Drink for
all right,
Albatross.
drink for Albatross. So the Miami Dolphins.
Song named Albatross or something. I'm pretty sure.
The Miami Dolphins decided to trade Jay Ajayi, who
Their only good player.
their only good player, who
What do you mean, Cutler?
Jay Ajayi was their workhorse back. He touched that ball like 15 to 20 times a game. Like he was, for a team that had ineptitude oozing out of that quarterback position, Jay Ajayi was the only cat that would be able to make them consistent. I mean, I don't get it. Like for Philadelphia, this is a tremendous move because before that, they had Sproles go down earlier in the year with an arm and a leg. Oh man, he's gonna be done for a while. And then
He's retiring.
is he done? Oh, he is retiring.
Good for him, man.
Yeah.
Let's stop getting little Darren hurt, man.
And they in their their rushing attack is not, it's not that great. So Ajayi for them is a super upgrade. So for me, I just don't get it. I like Ajayi,
I don't
so
get it either.
that's a real
Doesn't
bummer
make
for
any
me.
sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason why I put it in here is because the poor get poorer because Miami and Jay Cutler now has probably become a little more attractive target.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you think because of this, Cutler is now like top tier bad quarterback?
Yes, they're basically they basically have like a couple of guys that they found in the stands to play running back now.
Right.
Kenyon, Drake,
Austin, what do you think?
and some other scrub.
Is Jay Cutler 100% playing this week? No. I don't think so. He still has broken ribs. He has 3 broken ribs.
So then Matt Moore is slam dunk.
So Matt Moore
slam
is
dunk city.
Matt Moore is fighting for your number 1 spot, I would imagine.
Yes. I don't know who the matchups are off the top of my
Because
head.
like 2 weeks
But-
ago, he scored like 50-something points or some shit.
Matt Moore. You
And
think
no one
Cutler's
drafted
gonna
him.
play? Okay.
Oh, I've got him right
Well-
here. He scored 45 points in week 8. No one drafted him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
It was
you can
because
talk.
he played a
game.
Thursday
It was a-
game.
Yeah,
It was
you-
on Thursday.
It was
You
a
can
Thursday game.
you can talk to Aaron about that because Aaron hearted both of those players and decided to go with Flacco instead.
Yeah, that was a botch. Yep.
It was a slight botch. Slight, probably. Probs McGobs. So here's my thing about Jay Ajayi. Jay Ajayi is a pretty good running back. He's not the elite running back that some people are making him out to be. And I'm not even saying you. I'm saying
But
like
in
people
terms
on
of-
like ESPN
in terms
and
of
shit.
Miami running backs.
He was definitely one of their best offensive players, but I don't think he was their best offensive player. I think their 2 receivers, Parker, Devontae Parker and Jarvis Landry, I think both of them are better players than Jay Ajayi personally. But that's kind of semantics. He was by far the Miami Dolphins' number 1 running back. Their offensive line's atrocious. The Miami Dolphins are not very good, and Jay Cutler is the quote-unquote leader of your team. You're fucked. Sorry. Philadelphia, Jay Ajayi has similar traits to LeGarrette Blount. And LeGarrette Blount is still the starter as of right now. I'm not saying it's going to remain that way the rest of the year because, again, running back's a little easier to implement into the offense as opposed to like a quarterback like we were talking about before. I think he has similar characteristics to LeGarrette Blount. He's definitely a little bit shiftier. I think LeGarrette Blount's a little bit more of a bruiser, but similar like down, hard-nosed, one-cut, downhill running backs style type guys. Ajayi is having a shit year.
Yeah, I think it's just because Miami sucks.
Yeah, maybe, but like even in this last game, his first run of the game went for like 28 or 30 yards or something. First run of the game. He had like 12 runs after that went for literally like -2 yards.
Aaron wants this
the
mic.
way
Aaron
Jay-
wants this mic bad.
Yeah, because the way Jay Ajayi runs the ball, like you said, dead on. He's a downhill runner. He runs in between the tackles. He's not a guy that, like Kareem Hunt, that can get outside the tackles and bust it for a big gain. Like he's a guy that you have to have good blocking in order to be relevant. So he was rushing the ball 15 times for 48 yards. Austin spills his beer. These things have been.
Why,
These
how
things
are they
have
still
been.
shook
It's
up?
the-
It's
Hey,
crazy.
brew expert.
Tecate.
Brew expert. What happens when it's overcarbonated, too much sugar?
Could be overcarbed, yeah.
I'm trying hard here. I saved some of it in my hand.
Oh my gosh, that beer blew up like Jay Ajayi is going to blow up in Philadelphia. All right, mark my words. Jay Ajayi's season is turning around. This is going to make Carson Wentz an even better quarterback because it's going to take pressure off of him to make throws. I think this is a huge move for the Eagles, and the Dolphins have shown their complete ineptitude to run a football team. And I'm not saying they're anywhere close
They're
to the
not the
Cleveland
Browns.
Cleveland
They're not
Browns.
the Browns.
But they're up there and as one of the worst.
Tony, this has been a great segment so far. It's been kicking us off on a hot note.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's keep it.
Let's keep it rolling.
Last one on the hot stove is Brian Hoyer. We don't have to spend a whole lot of time. I just think it's nice that Tom Brady finally has a veteran mentor to back him up. Having Jimmy G back him up, didn't get that veteran presence. I'm glad that Brian Hoyer can bring that to the Patriots.
I'm a little surprised. I mean, what's he going to contribute there?
Well, he was Tom Brady's former backup before he left to become a starter.
So now he's there again.
It's such like a Belichick move to like.
Brian Hoyer was the exact perfect thing. So they traded Garoppolo to San Francisco for a second-round pick, and people were like, "Really, just a second-rounder for Garoppolo? That's all they got." They really got Brian Hoyer and a second-rounder because, I mean, they had to assume that Brian Hoyer was going to pass through waivers, which he obviously was going to. Like nobody was going to pick up Hoyer off of waivers or anything. Did McCown just throw a tutty right there?
He did. Oh, Drew.
A little review
I'm
action.
sorry.
Robbie Anderson, your boy.
We're sure it's Drew, right? That took McCown.
Yeah.
Oh, Drew's in trouble.
Yeah. Sorry, Drew. Really sorry about that. Drew, I still don't think I've met you in person. We've been in the league for like 4 years. Haven't met.
Which is it's absolutely hilarious that Drew and Brian are in the bottom of this season this year.
Drew being extremely knowledgeable, I would say.
Yes. But so really fast, sorry to finish my point about Brian Hoyer. So Brian Hoyer understands where he's at in his career, guys. He's not a starter. He knows he's not good enough to be a starter. Let's sign a 3-year deal to be Tom Brady's backup in New England and maybe win a Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? Sign me
for Brian
up,
Hoyer.
bro.
Yeah, this is a fantastic
Great deal.
move.
And
but
for the Patriots,
what are the Patriots getting? That's
they have the number 1 backup quarterback in the league, in my opinion.
Hoyer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell me who's better.
AJ McCarron. Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, Jimmy Garoppolo is not better than Brian Hoyer. He's played 6 quarters of football. Not yet. I'm not saying he won't be. Colin Kaepernick is still unsigned.
R.I.P.
No words. Just this.
Moving on from Hoy.
We're not going to see Brian Hoyer much.
Are we going to talk about Deshaun Watson? I know it was a late ad, but should we?
Yeah,
Is he a hot stove?
There's another. There's more portions to this.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if he was a hot stove.
He's not a hot stove.
For a podcast that was thrown together this week, this has already been killing it.
Here's the Ouchie Tough Cream Pie segment.
Cream pie.
As you see
Thank you for not showing it.
Yeah, thank God.
The Cavs bench reacting to Gordon Hayward's injury.
Which professional referee right here.
Yeah, he's
Just-
like, foul on number 12.
Yep.
He's leaving. See ya.
Ouchie.
So, Ouchie Tough Cream Pie.
My leg.
As mentioned before, Deshaun Watson. Very tough pill to swallow for those of us who have him on our actual fantasy teams, which would be Aaron Carnevale. Coming off a humongous week in which he just fed DeAndre Hopkins just like DeAndre Hopkins should be fed.
Just keep talking about it.
That's kind of our jobs here, Austin.
And now
the 3-step flop.
The implications are that we have just received another quarterback into
bad QB.
the fray. Mr. Tom Savage. Why are you trapping so hard, Tom Savage? Very excited to pick him.
I've been popping pillies just like I'm a rock star.
Yeah, good. You're a
nailed
regular.
it.
You're a regular pre-Malone.
I nailed it.
Thoughts?
This is
Guys, Aaron's upset.
This is just really sad. He was, oh man, he was a great football player. I mean, he's going to be. Let's all take a moment.
Mr. Watson.
He was having a tremendous season, right? Like he was putting up ridiculous numbers, and it all started in Cincinnati. We were there to watch it.
We were.
Brian was the one that drafted him on that night when his career got elevated.
His 40-yard run.
His 40-yard run. This really sucks. I mean, he was really fun to watch. Obviously, you know, fantasy aside, it's just like that really sucks to see, especially in practice. Like he just sounded like he was just running a regular drill, like going through a play, and it just kind of went on him.
Been there, brother.
Yeah,
Been there.
I feel bad for you too, man. It's real bad. I guess, you know, coming out of this, you know, the Texans were a legitimate playoff team. You know, they were really trying to push for it, and DeAndre Hopkins wasn't playing very well before this because Tom Savage couldn't do anything to get him the ball. And yeah, exactly, Osweiler. So this is a really, really, really big deal for the Texans. So Savage right now is starting, but they signed Matt McGloin today, and there's reports out there that Colin Kaepernick he's getting a workout with the Texans. They're giving him a workout, which is new because this is
Texans only have 2 quarterbacks.
Savage and McGloin, so they need a third guy. So if Kaepernick comes into town, you would have to think that he would challenge for that starting gig.
Which, by the way, of all states that Kaepernick were to go to,
right.
It's just beautiful.
Guys, this is like another one of those things.
Austin's in.
Are we
Give me that
living in a
fucking
simulation,
mic.
guys? Because Colin Kaepernick going to the state of Texas would just be the most fabulous thing.
Here's
of
the
all
thing,
time.
though. In a way, it's okay because Houston as a city is a very blue city.
Yeah, I mean it's the 4th largest city in America, so any large city is naturally going to be a
Cody's
blue.
going there, by the way.
Right.
Yeah,
Cody's
congrats Cody, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout
Even though he
out
doesn't listen,
Cody.
Shout out
Shouts
Cody.
out drinks.
Shout out on that World Series victory last night too, Houston.
Yo, the
last night was
Stros-
great. Today not
Not
so
so
Not
good.
so great,
The
but I also
hangover-
don't feel bad for the city of Houston.
Of course not.
So here's the thing. As somebody who was injured in practice going through drills, like I broke my femur my sophomore year of high school for people who don't know, I guess. Playing football, it was a Tuesday practice. We were doing offensive line drills, and my femur snapped in 2 pieces. Like it was the worst thing ever.
I don't even want to talk about
Yeah,
it.
it was terrible. It's all good now, but so I feel bad for Deshaun Watson on a personal level.
It was a tough cream.
It was a tough cream pie.
Drink.
A real tough cream pie. Let's just be honest about it.
That's on the bingo sheet.
Oh man, all right, just had to say it.
That was really good.
Started
But,
laughing
so,
before
like,
you said it.
On a human level, I feel bad for Deshaun Watson. But yo, for real, Deshaun Watson, fuck you for scoring 36 points last week in real fantasy. Because I would have won my fantasy game against Aaron if you didn't play. So fuck off.
Allegedly.
All right, what's up next, Tony, on this hot stove?
Joe Flacco
His
with a brain injury.
His brain.
Oh my god.
My brain.
I recently saw a GIF of. I recently saw a GIF of what happens when you take a blow to the head, and it was basically what it was a side view of a skull that had the top portion cut off so you could see the brain. And like the guy just like took it and he slammed it into his head, and the brain just went.
I put that
forward.
GIF in when
Okay, yeah. So
yeah.
that's how I saw it, and that's what happened to Joe Flacco on Sunday. He got Trent Greened so hard,
dirty hit.
and very dirty hit, and
Disagree.
Here's the mic. Hot mic, hot stove.
All right, hot stove, hot take, ouchie, tough cream pie.
That's all you get.
All
Tough
right,
cream pie
here's-
drink.
All these pauses.
Guys, the Kiko Alonso hit was not a blatantly dirty hit as Mike Mitchell or as maybe possibly Vontez Perfect. Bring it up. It's not dirty. So Kiko Alonso makes this type of tackle. If you watch the entire game, he makes this exact same tackle about 8 other times throughout the game where he launches his body into the offensive player and he dives low. So this time, Joe Flacco slides late. He does the exact same tackle. And was it reckless? 100%. Should he be fined? 100%. Was it dirty and malicious? And was he attempting to hurt Joe Flacco? Absolutely not.
Okay.
And that's where I disagree with you.
That's fair. Okay, he didn't have intent to like hurt him, I should say, but he should have been in control of his body. Reckless.
Yep,
Wow.
I think Austin's made a great point.
Huh,
I'm
okay.
totally on Austin's
I
side.
just-
let me ask you this: how can you say that a hit is not dirty, but he should be fined for it? Why should you be fined for a hit that's not dirty?
Because in my opinion, dirty implies intent. And
Okay.
that as a personal definition, if we decide right here that it has a different definition, then I can adjust that. But I'm saying in terms of my definition
I agree
of
with
dirty,
you. I agree
I
with
think
you.
that intent has to be there. I don't think he was like, "Yo, I'm about to try to fuck up Joe Flacco right now." Like
But
he's definitely trying to hit him hard and he's
Look
trying
at
to go
this
low.
civil discourse here. This is like
Well, I actually agree with that.
Amazing.
I wasn't necessarily trying to sway you to my point. I was just wondering how a hit could be. I'd never thought about it.
Here's
You could
why.
have a hit
Because
that's not dirty
I have a
that
really-
also warrants a fine because you could accidentally do something that is so far outside of the rules of football without intending to do it,
I
just
have
because
a-
the game is so fast.
I have a pretty passionate opinion about a lot of things, but especially about this dirty player thing in the NFL
Let's
because
talk about Israel.
yeah, LOL. So to get back to what we were talking about.
Robin Lumberg.
To get back to what we were
Austin
talking
and I will be
about.
doing our Israel
Mike Mitchell-
podcast on
Yeah, right.
Saturday.
Mike Mitchell for the Pittsburgh Steelers is the dirtiest player in the NFL, in my opinion. And it's because
Agreed.
he intentionally attempts to hurt other players
What
on
about
the field.
my boy Ryan Shazier?
Ryan Shazier, I don't know if he necessarily he's not as dirty as Mike Mitchell, but he's definitely not a clean player. Our boy Vontaze Burfict, we all know what type of player Vontaze Burfict is. And there's some things that Vontaze Burfict done. Dude, not dirty. Now, if I'm the offensive lineman, I'm doing everything that happened right here. I'm doing it the exact same way. Offensive lineman, I'm going after Kiko Alonso right here. You got to stand up for your quarterback.
Let's look at this though, because
Can we get a different angle? This is kind of a shit angle.
honestly, this is how difficult it is to find NFL highlights that I have to fucking. This is the best video
Really?
I can find. It's
That's
impossible.
crazy.
So he's okay right here. He is going down into his slide right
Sure,
here.
if you break it down like this,
hold
Tony,
on.
sure.
I know. Yes, obviously, there's no way that Kiko Alonso knows that he's about to slide right here in the exact instant that he starts his slide. But he's still 5 to 6 yards away
He's
from it.
5 yards.
But what you're looking at is Flacco, who's about to slide.